Hello and welcome to this rather chilly but beautiful spring morning up here in Northumberland. The subject for today, the grass is always greener on the other side. Now, I came to the world of riding hydrofoils in waves through foil assist. I'll confess, I'm no fan of paddling. My friend Kev, who loves it just as much as I do, runs KA Adventure Sports up here in Beadnell. He came to it through his jet ski. Now, he's been riding for some time now, towing. Now, he's interested in what I do. I'm most definitely interested in what he's doing. So we thought it'd be a good idea to meet up, swap kit, and see if we can figure out whether either one of us is missing something that would really make our lives better. I sincerely hope not, as I can't afford a jet ski. But anyway, so we're going to go out, we're going to try and find some swell, and we're going to see if we can figure this thing out. So here we are, bit of a scope around the jet ski. I'm about to be schooled. So Kev, this is bigger than normal.
It's not bigger than normal, this is a small one.
And how many horsepower has this thing got?
215 brake.
Is that normal?
Yeah, that's the slow one.
That's a slow
That's
one.
a slow one.
That's a slow one. Did you tell me it has a supercharger?
It's got a supercharger, 215 brake supercharger. Yeah, it goes a bit. You got to hang on.
I don't know if people actually realise how massive that is. It is massive. It's like a car. Do you have to have a licence?
Well, yeah, kind of.
I'm not going to ask whether you've got a licence.
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that.
Look at how many licenses do you think I've got? I've got every licence under the sun, man, for Christ's sake. 40 many licenses.
Holy smoke. That is massive. I'm absolutely blown away by that. It's got to be at least 5 paces from the front to the back.
Come on,
right.
stop messing on. Let's go.
The army arties! Well, that's us for the day. What a fantastic day it was. A lot went down, for better or for worse, and a lot of stuff that I thought was going to be something wasn't, and there was a lot of stuff that I didn't appreciate that was. So before I speak any further, I'm going to go away and have a think about it, and future Mike's going to come back and give you the verdict. Now, I'm going to have a quick catch up with Kev now and unpick it straight in the car park here after we've both come off the water. And future Mike will dish the dirt in a bit. Right. So, Mr. Anderson, you learned to foil in waves only using the tow-in.
Yes, Kind of. So my basic entry into foiling waves was with a wing, or with a kite even to begin with, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then then into the wing. And then eventually decided to go down the jet ski route and started towing into waves, and definitely that's where I really felt like you learn to ride the waves fully and properly without anything in your hand, just completely free on a small board with a small foil.
How long have you been doing it for?
Tow foiling now, probably for, James, what do you reckon, 2 or 3 years?
2 or 3 years?
2 or 3 years, but I mean the conditions that we get on good that often.
Yeah.
But I mean it's my first kind of introduction properly to foil driving. I've watched the videos like everybody else, and I kind of look at it unsure of what to do, because obviously it's quite a lot of cash to invest.
Yeah.
After recent times looking at it closer and then spending a day with Mike, for me it just seems like an absolute no-brainer. I mean, the ski's great, and it can, it has its place definitely, and we'll definitely keep on using it, especially in the bigger stuff. And it's great to kind of to move spots as well as the conditions change.
Yeah.
That's really good. But to run a couple of foil drives with the ski and some tows at the same time and move on together could be really cool.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. Mike just never stopped riding waves. He just was on and then back out again, and then on the next one and then back out.
Yeah.
It was just a conveyor belt of fun.
It is a conveyor belt,
it's
isn't
a conveyor belt of fun. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And the I can't comment that much on the foil drive. I've got my setup that I'm going to get. I know what I'm going to get. As far as I can get up on the board now, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can ride waves with a jet ski. I know I can do that. What I need to do is get out on a good day in good conditions with my own equipment that I'm used to, and just start getting in amongst it, and just each wave I'm sure it'll get better and better, and I'll get better and better, and get a better understanding of the whole thing. Quite quickly.
What really surprised me and got me thinking as well was that you said that you really like the camaraderie of the whole tow-in thing, because your driver's almost more important to the success of your session than you are yourself. The relying on each other to pick each other out of the soup, to get each other onto the wave in the right place, to be able to read the conditions around you, and to help you get yourself out of holes that you find yourself in. That's really interesting, because foil driving for me is just still a solo sport, but this is massively a team sport.
For sure. Again, that's what really does it for me with the ski, is just that teamwork of working with people and relying on the other person. There's a lot to it, and when it goes wrong, it can go wrong quite badly. So you've really got to kind of have a good understanding of the ski and the conditions, and just always remember to look behind you, Mike?
Yeah, we should also disclose that although I was aghast at the size and power and magnificence of this huge jet ski that Kev has, we were wearing it as a hat.
We did.
About halfway through the session.
I'm blaming it all on Mike, because it's never happened before, but we ended up pitch pulling the ski and ended up with it underneath it, basically, with it upside down. We got there, we got it sorted out, flipped it back over, and away we went again. But that was a bit of fun, that's for sure. Never done that before.
Yeah, so foil drive, you end up paddling that sometimes. Jet skis, you also end up paddling that as well.
Yeah.
And the majesty of it as well, the thing that really I didn't appreciate was we got on the ski here. How far is it to where we rode that break up at
Bamborough?
Bamborough?
It's about
Take 15, 20 minutes to drive, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. It's probably about maybe 10k.
Well, we covered significant distance, just checking out different spots all the way up the coast without fear of running your battery down.
Yeah, for sure.
You get on the ski, you've got a day's worth of fuel, you can just go exploring. It's a much more team-oriented thing, it's a real proper group activity, and I didn't credit it for that before I did it. Yeah. So cool. No humans were harmed in the making of this video. Almost. So here's future Mike, potentially divisive this one, so I'm going to tread lightly. Foil assist tends to get enough handbags thrown at it without comparing it to prone foiling, so please don't be baited. This is just literally me wanting answers for myself, nothing more. And seeing as I'm on the defensive, even though I've been in the sea for over 40 years, paddling is just not my thing. And Kev's the same, which is why he does tow-in. So if you paddle, I guess most of this probably sounds like heresy anyway. So enough waffle, let's talk presumptions and reality. What I thought was going to happen versus what actually happened. Firstly, I can confirm the ski is well cool, but it's a faff, and all I had to do was turn up and push. I didn't have to clean, fix, tow and fuel the thing. And we all know the more stuff you have in your life, the more time you have spending fixing and generally running it. Secondly, I thought there would be no problems riding each other's disciplines, and that was hubris. We were both schooled. I struggled with the tow up. It took me 5 attempts just to get going, and then I struggled with the positioning and communicating. My waves were okay, but were not really as exploited as I would have anticipated. Similarly, Kev's tow-ins, well, his were much, much better, but the actual act of popping up a small inset board like I use wasn't something that he could immediately replicate, so it's clearly not plug and play for either of us. Now this presented a problem because we couldn't really tap into our full potential on the day, and this is the only shot we had. Next, I presume that the foil settings I use for assist would be fine for prone, and in that I was wrong. Turned out too much front foot pressure and I needed to dial the stab back. Geeky, weird, but turns out it's a thing. Now I presumed pumping would be easier, and in that I was right. When you hop, the board comes up to meet you so fast that the next stroke starts with much more power and height than I'm used to. Your cadence can drop, your speed climbs, it's night and day. I actually struggled with breaching. It wasn't used to the amount of height that I was getting when I hopped. Some things I learned. I didn't appreciate how important the driver of the ski is. Spotting the waves, taking care of the foiler, positioning, communicating, keeping the ski safe. It's a massive skill set, far above what I expected. Plus the rider also has to stay close into the wake of the ski, because if you go out to the side, it tends to tramline the ski and the thing won't turn. I didn't appreciate the overall level of teamwork involved. Life on the ski is also pretty physical. You know, if it's not glassy, they're just smashing their way through the lumps. I didn't appreciate how it's a one-session thing, no swapping batteries, no brakes. Once you leave the beach, you're gone for the day. Now, for those of you prone foilers who are waiting for me to say something heretical, this is probably when your eye's going to start twitching. Now, I thought the unassisted foil would be a lot freer at speed, but on back-to-back waves, I did expect a bigger difference. And now I think about it, I'd already witnessed the advantage of the slim over the max diminish as the speed climbed. So I'm not surprised to see that the advantage of a tow-in rig starts to wane as the speeds ramp up. From a riding perspective, that was probably my biggest takeaway of the day. When I'm going fast on bigger waves, I'm not suffering too much in handling. And the next bit of heresy, tow-in made me really value the foil assist's wave count. It's the first comment Kev made, look, Mike's on every wave, every time, and you just get blasé to it. But as Kev said, it's a conveyor belt of riding. The wave count is massive on foil drive. As such, on tow, waves, well, they're precious. And the thought of sharing a wave that I towed into, well, yeah, I didn't really want to. Wave count on foil drive is laughably high, so often that we often get 3 or 4 mates on just one wave, all screwing around and having a laugh, because at the end of the day it just doesn't matter. It's 1 of 100, not 1 of 15. And this is one aspect that really hit home. Life on foil assist is way less serious. These skis also need a lot of space. If you're on a break that doesn't span a lot of ground, it gets real busy real fast, and the things put out a lot of wake and foam. And by contrast, foil assist, you can just cram them in without any stress. But hey, looking back, it was a brilliant day, so interestingly. I genuinely loved it. And when we pushed the skis back up the beach, I couldn't believe how long we'd been out. So am I getting a ski? Well, for sure I'd do it again, no question, but I don't feel the burning compulsion from a performance point of view, and that really did surprise me. But then, a lot of you and myself would probably expect me to say that coming from where I do. Maybe this whole thing is subliminally rigged for that very reason, and maybe if I were forced to ride tow-in only and I learned how to exploit the things I couldn't discover from this one day, then I'd change my tune. And I can fully see why Kev will not move off his ski. It's also like a surf van for proper exploratory missions, and that was really, really cool. I do think there's one other thing we should chat about. Now I'm a year down this foil drive rabbit hole, and as such my kit's been hacked a fair bit. Integrated mast, custom tub boards, adoption of the slim, plus a few other little sneaky extras too. So perhaps I'm not the best judge, or maybe I am from a viewpoint further down the road. But to that end, I've seen a lot of high-level tow guys really get frustrated with hastily slapped together systems that really aren't dialed, and I can understand why. Sure, my first rig, there was a big difference, but as we've got the assist systems more dialed, that gap is narrowing. And the gap I felt that day, coupled with the autonomy of the assist, for me, the choice wasn't really a consideration. Now, I 100% agree that prone rigs are far better to pump, and now I've experienced that. It's a bit disheartening when you go back to a small foil and the foil drive. But at the end of the day, you don't have to, because you've got lithium. And as such, I've stopped comparing myself to the pure prone guys. It's a different set of physics that we're dealing with. So knowing what I know, where we started and where we are, I do think there needs to be a conversation about kit weight here, because at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about. Ideologies aside, that's the physical difference between the two, and the more you reduce the weight of the assist, the closer you get to prone. I did 11 months on the max and then I got a sim, and this is what first raised my eyebrows to weight and thickness, which that day went up a bit more. So what we need is to slash the weight. We need a lighter chassis, lighter, more efficient motors, better batteries, higher energy density, and really, realistically, you need an hour's runtime. And it's already started. The new motor is more efficient, the new cells seen in the new max power, battery hold more power, and every time I see a new variant of the foil assist genre, weight and runtime is the first question I want answered. And the successful leaders will go this way for sure, and mark my words, where we will be in 5 years will be very different to where we are today. That gap is going to continue to narrow. And my takeaway from all this, perhaps relieved I don't have to buy a ski, yet if we, went back out on the ski for a tour, I'd be the first one with my hand up. Potentially though, I'd be that one weirdo that took an assist board and quietly, sneakily snaked every wave that was missed. And did you hear Kev? He openly suggested the same. So there you go. I'm not saying it's everyone's viewpoint, and there is truth in the old saying about the grass being greener. So hopefully this video might help you put some of that in context. Personally, I'm really excited about what's coming over the next few years. We're at one of those rare tipping points where everything's changing and it's really exciting. Thanks to Kev at KA Adventures. I've put his link below in the comments to his team in Beadnell. If you can, come see this part of the world. Northumberland, it's the same breaks that the Vikings rode into, and it's achingly beautiful, natural, littered with history, unspoiled. Kev knows this area better than anyone, through all the family activities he runs right the way through to this kind of stuff. So call in and say hello. Here's hoping you have an awesome year, no matter how you use it, and let's just get rid of all those handbags. No matter what the discipline or standard, Stoke is equally valid, no matter where it comes from. And lastly, here's a parting shot of the stunning blood moon that lit my way home. I couldn't help but stop and get a parting shot for you to finish.